All right, let's see if I can share this. Hi everybody, come on in, pull up a chair. Dun, 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 dun. Bum, ba-dum. Let some of you get in here. See who's going to join us. Let's see here. There we go, share. You don't want to share to a group. No. Where do we want to share? We want to say post. There we go. I did. Is it still airy? Well, how about that? I could try it one more time and see if it'll do it. This will tell us if it works this way. Everybody come on in. We're going to get started in just a moment. Dun, dun, dun. We are all in for a surprise today. Chatty's here. Hi, Chatty. Chatty's here. Yay. And then let's turn this on. And maybe that'll help it. It might not. But we're going to see. Let's see what happens. If it's going to catch it. It might not. But we shall see. Alright. Is it going to link up? See if we can get this microphone to link up here. Maybe not. I think, Lee, we have to do it when the live is started. I think that's the deal. I do. Ba-dum-bum. Come on in. I see we have about... Oh, Donna says she's starving. Well, yay, Donna. Yay, yay, yay. Hopefully, I'm going to give you a great meal that you will enjoy. Trying to see if we can get this to link up. Lee and I are really struggling with this thing. May not work. It may work. I don't know. But if not, it's okay, because I have a big enough mouth that we are fine with this. So let's just proceed. Okay, so today we're all going to do something exciting. I am going to be fixing a dish that I have never fixed before myself, okay? So that's huge. That's huge when that happens, because you know how y'all are like, I can't cook. She makes it look easy. Well, I'm sure there will be many mistakes today, but I have been wanting to fix this recipe for Lee and I for a while, and I thought, well, you know what? Might as well do it scared. Have never fixed this, have done the prep. I'm going to turn this around and just show you some stuff that I have done ahead of time here, because we're going to be at the stove today instead of in front. Of course, I've got my pan ready. I've got my water back here. Of course, my gloves. And then this is the steak. You will see here the steak has been marinating now about 40 minutes. So I'm just going to turn that over. So that's all sitting there. We have some fresh vegetables. We've got some mushrooms. We have some snap peas, some shredded carrots. I've got some orange peppers. Of course, some onions, some green onions there. And then, of course, here we have some sesame oil. We have some soy sauce. I have some minced garlic, and then some ginger and some red pepper, of course. Look at that. Then I've got some beef broth here, and I've got some brown sugar. And, you know, so and look, as you can see, I just use regular stuff. All of this stuff can be found in the store. And then above all, look, You're going to need ramen, right? Ramen. I know some of you don't like ramen. I get it, but I'm going to tell you right now, this right here is the best ramen you will ever eat. And you're never going to guess where you can get this. You can get this from my store, from my Avon store. Yes, we sell the best ramen in the world. So you'll see these packages are actually a little bigger than those little teeny ones that you get at the store. The most flavorful, wow, ramen I have ever had. Lee loves it. My boys love the spicy. It comes in mild and spicy. Comes with its own flavor packs. So if you want this and you're my customer, then I'm going to tell you what you can do. You can go to my store and you can, which is beautywithmolly.com, and just search for ramen and you're going to see all three there. If you can't find the numbers, let me know. And this doesn't mean that you can't do this with your own ramen. You can. The other thing I thought about is a lot of people have dietary restrictions, right? I get that. I would think not just ramen. I got to thinking you could probably do this with lo mein. You could probably do this with a spaghetti if you don't like ramen noodles. How could you not like ramen noodles? Ramen noodles are like the best ever. Really, they're great. But what I'm hoping is that that you'll just like it like this. I'm hoping I like it like this because I have never fixed this before. So this is going to be interesting. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this around. I'm going to talk to you. I'm going to tell you what I've done ahead of time. And we are going to get started here. So feel free to share this. Share it on your page. Share it to your friends. Everybody likes to try a new recipe, right? I will be putting this on YouTube also. But I think what's great about this is, you know what, sometimes you want something a little different. I mean, if you're not going out to a restaurant for Valentine's Day, can we be honest? I mean, you could fix this and it's something new. It's just not the regular chicken noodle soup out of the can or anything. That's what you don't want. So maybe fix your hubby or your significant other, maybe fix them a new dish that you both can love. They say that this serves 3 to 5 people. So even if you have a hubby who eats more than the norm, that's okay because there's going to be plenty there, right? So it all works. Okay, so let's get this up here. Bear with me 1 second. I'm going to turn this around and I am going to, here we go. Let's get you all clipped in here. So we go in here and I'm kind of following this myself, so hold on guys. All right, let us see. Let me see if I can get this right. I'm working on a 6-second delay here, so you guys bear with me. Trying to get this exactly right. I might need to move this a little bit more. Hold on. Let me see here. No, this actually needs to come down more, doesn't it? What are you doing? Huh? What happened, babe? Is that good? I think that might be good. Maybe not. Let's hope. I'm thinking it is. Okay, that looks perfect to me. So give me some thumbs up if you can see this pan. You don't got to see everything else, but this pan here is going to be the most important thing. So we want to make sure that you are watching what is happening as it's happening. So let us get here. Okay. All right. Thank you, whoever is sending the thumbs up. I appreciate you. Absolutely. Hey, and don't forget, for anybody who makes any of my dishes that I have done live in January and February, and you cook it and you post it and you tag me on Facebook, then what I'm going to do is I am going to be raffling off 4 of my honey bun cakes. And if you haven't had my honey bun cake, what is wrong with you people? You need my honey bun cake. So all you have to do is try one of the recipes. We've done the Old Bay shrimp, Cajun shrimp penne pasta. Last week we did the bacon cheeseburger casserole. And wow, so many of you showed up for that. So thank you so much for doing that. So you can go look at the... Huh?
Like, share, and save.
Yeah, like, share, and save. Absolutely. Don't forget to save. Maybe you can't cook it today. Maybe you want to cook it, another day. So that's okay too. So right now I'm heating the pan up to a medium heat. Now, as I told you guys, look here. This is, of course, the marinated meat that it's been marinating probably about 20 minutes or so. But I need you to know something. You can actually do this. A lot of people really like a thick tasting marinade. They really do. And so you can actually take the steak and you can cut this up and get everything ready, and you can put it in the refrigerator overnight for like 8 hours. I did it because I wanted this to be like a quick meal. What could I do? So mine's only been marinating for about 30 or 40 minutes. So feel like you can do that. So what I've done is I've taken a pound, in this case it's like 1.5 pounds of, they say flank steak, but I couldn't find a flank steak. But the steaks that are comparable to that are like a London broil. So if you have a London broil, and look, I found mine, this piece of meat at Walmart, and it was fabulous. It was thick, and what you're going to do is you're going to cut this steak against the grain into like 1/4-inch pieces. You don't want it real thick, and that's going to give you kind of a long piece of meat there. But then you're going to take that and you're going to cut those in half or in quarters. Some people want them in bite-sized pieces. I do mine a little bit bigger than that, as you'll see. And then you're going to put it in the marinade, right? Let me get a little bit of oil in this pan here in the meantime. Hold on. Because we're going to start some other stuff here. So I'm taking probably about 2 tablespoons of olive oil, and I've got that in the pan, and we're going to get that heating up there just a little bit. And I'm going to work on the other portion of what we're going to do with the meat in just a minute. But the first thing that we're going to do is you're going to get that meat cut up, and I did that early, like an hour earlier. I took it out. I kind of let it sit for 20 minutes. I never like working with really cold pieces of meat. I just do not. You want it to be close to room temperature, because then also it's not going to be in the pan longer. Sometimes when you're trying to cook cold meat, what happens is it ends up not as done as you would like it. And I'm a firm believer in medium rare to medium as far as a piece of meat goes. But you're going to find that you're going to fry the outside horribly, and the inside is still going to be just a little bit too rare for you. So take that steak out. Take the hamburger out. It's the same thing. And make sure, hi Ashley, thanks for joining me. Make sure that you take it out and you let it get to not necessarily a room temperature, but very close to that, okay? Then you're going to take that steak, cut it up, and then what we did is I made up this marinade that has, I'm going to put this recipe, exactly what I used and the amounts after this. I will put it in the description. But what I did is I took like a 1/2 cup of soy sauce, and I took about 2 or 3 tablespoons of the Hoisin sauce. And all these, again, can be found at any store. I mean, some of this, I found the Hoisin sauce last night at Walmart. So if Walmart has it, you know it's not uppity, okay? So make sure that you get, and get the regular Hoisin. Last night I found out that there was like a cilantro lime Hoisin, but I didn't want it to be flavored. I just wanted it to be like an oriental Hoisin sauce, which is very tasteful on its own. Then I put a couple of I put tablespoons in of the minced garlic. And again, I showed you, you can make your own garlic if you want to do that. I just grab the jar and keep the jar in the refrigerator. Makes things go a lot quicker for you. And then I mixed all that up, and I took that meat and I put it in that Ziploc bag let me show you again for those coming on. And this is what you get. And I just kept flipping it. I didn't put it in the refrigerator. I just kept it out. Okay. This pan is almost ready. Okay, so at this point, you can actually work on that steak and let that sit aside. and let that marinate for 20 or 30 minutes. You don't have to always do this if you want to just work on your vegetables next, which is what we're going to do right now. So in vegetables, what did I have? I have an 8-ounce thing of mushrooms. I'm using 8 ounces of the snap peas. I'm going to put some onions, some shredded carrots in there, and then a bell pepper. Now I'm really partial to red, orange, or yellow bell peppers because I believe they're sweeter than the green peppers. But remember, with anything I share with you, you can absolutely do your own thing with this, okay? So, or again, you can prep your vegetables ahead of time. I did all mine at the same time, but you absolutely can do that, okay? So, what are we going to do next? Well, some people use flour for this. I'm going to coat my meat that's cut up and been marinating, but I actually use cornstarch. I think it's lighter, and I like that because there's not so much. I hate that where there's just too much coating, too much fried stuff on the steak. So what I'm going to do right now, and I will show you. We're going to put this in the pan in just a minute. I'm getting ready to take pieces of the steak, and I'm going to put it in the bag here, this gallon-sized bag, with the cornstarch. And I'm going to make sure that we coat that really, really, really well, okay? Hold on, I'm going to take about half of the steak because I have a little bit more than a pound here. Actually, it's not a little bit more. It's more like a pound and a half probably. I am going to take half of this and going to do this in this pan. All right, hold on one second. I'm going to take this bag and I'm going to seal it up. And you'll see here I have taken the meat, and I am going to work this so that this cornstarch is all over the meat. You want to, and don't be afraid, don't just shake it. You want to make sure that it's attaching to the marinade, okay? So that is what I'm doing. And I know it's hard to see through there now, but once I put it in the pan, you're going to be able to see that. Okay, let's see here. So we're going to get that started there with that one. Hold on, I'm going to put a few more in here now, and then we're going to work on the vegetables in the pan. Let me get some more of this meat in this bag so we can get, and you want to shake the marinade off when you do that. Sometimes I will cut a hole in the bottom of the bag over the sink, and I will actually let the marinade just drain off because I want some of the garlic to stay on the meat so that that goes in the pan when we're cooking it. Again, the more flavor, the better, right? So, okay, let me get rid of this bag with the marinade. You don't need that leftover marinade, so feel like, yes, that you can just do away with that. I'm going to work the rest of this in. Hold on one second. I'm sealing up my bag, and I am getting all the rest of this cornstarch all over the meat here. Hold on. Let's get this done here. I'm going to work this in with my hands. Y'all know I'm a handsy person. You know that. So what I'm doing is I am making sure that this cornstarch is coating every piece of the meat here. So I am working it, and you'll see when I put it in to fry it up. I would also have like a paper towel or whatever on a plate ready so that when this is done, you can just take it off and flip it over onto there because we're going to be doing this in steps. All right, let's see. All right, so it looks like this is ready. Let me turn this up just a little bit. All right. Let that do what it's doing. Okay, so now what are we going to do next? So the meat is over there. It's waiting. We're putting that in the cornstarch. We know we did that. But in the meantime, what we're going to do is we're going to put our veggies in, and we are going to cook them together. So I took the oil. I put the oil in there. And now what I'm going to do is you'll see we have the mushrooms here. I'm putting the mushrooms in. And it's about an 8-ounce package of mushrooms, okay? And then I've got some snap peas. Again, another 8 ounce of snap peas. Now, for the snap peas, I'm going to tell you, and look, if you don't like mushrooms, take them out. Snap peas normally have an end on them, and what I do, I don't like the stringiness, so I do take the time to cut off the ends of the snap peas. But I got to tell you something, if you don't like canned peas, don't let that steer you away from this, because these are so fabulous in anything that you're cooking. Okay, what else? I've also got some onions here, a small medium onion that I've chopped up. And I got some carrots, and yes, it's about a cup of carrots. It's already shredded, and yes, I did buy those pre-shredded. Why am I going to sit here and do it if I don't have to? All right, and then I have the pepper, and as you'll see, I got a orange pepper. I just love my colored peppers. Okay, so now what are we going to do with this? We're going to take this, and we are just going to, we're going to season this really, really good. Again, you never want your vegetables so that they're completely like cooked and saggy. You don't want that. You want them to be what we call crisp tender. You want them to be done. You don't want them to be mush. Mush is not good ever in the vegetable world. And you know, I got to thinking, if you like broccoli and you don't want the mushrooms or you don't want the snap peas, you could probably just substitute any vegetable that you wanted in here. I think that's a great thing about watching anybody who cooks, is to be able to say, well, I can't have that, or I'm allergic to that, but what else could I substitute that with? Let's see here. Are we good?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Now the other thing that I'm going to do, I am going to have to cook my ramen in boiled water. So you're going to see here, you see I have just a regular pan here. It's just got water in it, and I'm going to start bringing that to a boil because I'm going to have to cook that for about 2 minutes. And then we're going to rinse that, but we will get to that stop. Here we go. A little sizzle there, which is really great. Oh yeah, and if you have any questions about something I'm doing you're not sure about, Lee is keeping an eye on the questions, so he will read them off to me. Also, if you'll notice, I have all the ways to connect with me at the pinned comment. And if there's something that you would like me to cook, if there's something you'd like me to talk about as far as in the kitchen, how to cut something, how to work with garlic, whatever that looks like. My email is on there also, so make sure that you just, email me and just put in the regarding Cooking with Molly. All right. We are not there yet, but we are going to let that simmer there for a minute. In the meantime, I'm still working here with the steak. All right, so guys, I'm following this recipe too. As I said, if you're just joining me, welcome. But this is a new recipe to me too, okay? That's always, it's not scary for me when I'm by myself. I take it as a challenge. But here I am with you. I'm praying to God that it's not going to be, oh my God, I can't believe I chose that. That is so nasty. I don't think it's going to be. I normally choose pretty well with the ingredients, but we gonna see. We gonna see, okay? So I'm still messing with the steak over here. Getting the cornstarch all over the steak as our veggies are doing their thing. Let's do this. Oh yeah, okay, these are almost ready. Now you'll see, the peppers, when you look at this, see, nothing is cooked. You don't want to cook it to death. The onions you don't want to cook to death. I just want them to barely start getting transparent. Okay? All right, what do we got here?
Somebody asked, do you see any advantages to using an electric over gas?
Gosh, you know, electric over a gas. When I was raised, Mama taught me on a gas stove. That's what we had. And I remember the first time that I bought my first house, it was electric. And I thought I was going to lose my mind, because I'm not going to lie to you. It absolutely is different. Advantages, I don't know if there's advantages so much. I believe that what it really comes down to, okay guys, and what I'm going to do, I'll get back to that. I'm going to take the vegetables out, okay? I think I could do this better with a spoon, so let's do this. All right, so I'm going to take these and I'm going to spoon them into a dish just for now. We're going to come back to them, and I'm going to show you what these look like in the dish. Sometimes it's really hard to see when you're looking in a pan, like, okay, are those done enough? Always remember, better to undercook a vegetable a little bit than it is to overcook, because if you're adding it back into something, it continues to cook when you take it off the stove, okay? So always remember that. All right, so you can see here, this is what they look like, but you'll see they're still firm. They're still firm, okay? So I'm going to take these and I'm going to put these over here. Now what we're going to do is we're going to start, let me see if I can get a few of these out of here. See, I'm that person. I don't care that there's another onion in here. I will cook the steak with the onion. If you all are expecting perfection and you watching me, get off of here, because, oh Lord have mercy, I am but anything but a perfect cook. What I cook may taste good, but how I get there can be a hot mess, just so you know. Okay, so there's a few juices that are left in there from the vegetables. I would assume that's okay, but what I am going to need is some more oil. Probably another 2 tablespoons of oil. And we're going to make sure that we get that around there, because we are going to start working on the steak next. Okay, and remember, our water is boiling for our ramen. So hopefully we're going to get that done real soon. Okay. All right, so this looks good. So what am I going to do here? I am going to start putting the steak in here, and you are going to notice I am not just dumping it in there. That would not be a good thing. You want to take this, every bit of the steak needs to get some cooking on both sides, okay? You'll see that there's coating there with the cornstarch, and it had, of course, was marinating in the garlic and the hoisin sauce and the soy sauce. So I tell you, just watching this and smelling it. Oh, if you had smell-o-vision right now. I opened this bag up and I am like, oh Lord Jesus, this is like going to be some good stuff right here. And the reason also, I know a lot of you are probably like, can I cook a New York strip? Can I do a ribeye? Could I do this or that? Here's the truth. You probably could, but all of those best grades of steak that you're talking about there, they're all marbled perfectly in most cases with fat. The thing about a London broil or a flank steak, they don't have a lot of fat on them. You don't want a lot of fat on them, okay? So I'm not going to tell you not to try it. Try it and let me know how it is. I would think it would taste good. I would be afraid, because it has to be thin, that, you know, just maybe it might dry out, especially if you're reheating anything. Okay, so we are going to take that beef, at least this helping of it, in a single layer, and we are going to really just give it a chance to sear, and then we'll put some more in, okay? We're going to give that a chance. Hopefully, I'm tasting the mushroom, okay? Oh Lord. Okay, it doesn't even have any seasoning on it. It's good. A lot of people would not agree with me. My niece does not like mushrooms at all. The other stuff she could. Now, you'll see how this is getting a little sear on it as I turn it over. You don't want to burn it. There is a difference. You don't want to burn it. I think the great thing about this is this probably could have been, I probably could have cut these down into smaller pieces, but me and Bibster have got big mouths, so we're okay with that. So these earlier pieces I put in, we're going to turn these over. I would say that you could probably cook on that one side for about a minute and a half, because you're dealing, again, with a hot pan. And even if you get it wrong, doesn't mean you can't flip it back over, so quit thinking that you can't get it done, okay? It's all good. I don't think there's anything here unless you burn it. And if you're watching it, you really can't burn it. Oh yeah, look at some of these pieces here. Okay. And you see it doesn't take long. We're going to take this. And you see there's not a lot of coating. That's what I love about cornstarch in regard to flour. I'm not saying I never use flour. I do. But I love cornstarch. And if you're trying to modify this, whether you're gluten-free or whatever it will, in a lot of cases I know gluten-free, unless you use the gluten-free flour, cornstarch is perfect. It has nothing to do with that for me. I just absolutely love doing stuff in cornstarch because it's simpler and it doesn't leave too much coating. Okay, so when you flip that over, you're probably talking about another 30 seconds, okay? So let's look at these pieces we've already flipped. Let's look here. Oh yeah, see? It's already seared on that side too, which is great. So I'm then going to take this beef. I'm going to take this beef and I'm going to put it over here on a plate, okay? Oh yes, this looks so good. And remember, it's cut thin. So you don't want to cook it to death. Oh, these people who do well done on everything. I don't understand you well done people. I'm not judging you. I just want to understand. Why in the world would you want to cook something well done and cook all the steak out of it? Boy, I'll tell you, this Hoisin sauce and this soy sauce and all that's in here with the garlic, whoo! Man, it smells good. Now let me get this next batch in here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you what's on the platter here. So you'll see some of the cornstarch will stick just a little bit there. That's okay. Again, I'm going to go with like another tablespoon of olive oil. Okay. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the next batch in here. Here we go. Now remember, this is almost 2 pounds. So what I'm going to remind you of is if you get a pound, I'm going to show you about what you're going to get with just a pound in just a second. Let me get this in here. Let's get this cooking. And I almost did this part ahead of time, guys, but I got to tell you, to me, this is the hard stuff on some of it. When people are trying to learn to cook, sometimes you just got to take the time to say, let's sit here and let's really watch how this is done. Because when somebody, huh? Oh, hey Dad, how are you? My pops is on, everybody. Say hello to Harold Bibb. So what happens is, if you don't watch it, oh, it just, I don't know. I just felt like a lot of times if I had not watched my mama cook, that's what would have happened. I would have been like, and I got to tell you, speaking of my father-in-law, I watch him cook a lot when I'm able to get up to West Virginia. He is a fabulous, fabulous cook. He loves a lot of the stuff that I love. He loves the seafood, and of course he turned me on recently to fried green tomatoes. Oh my gosh, and when you don't have a gallbladder, you're not supposed to have a lot of them bad boys. Oh, but I have to tell you, it was wonderful. Okay, we're going to have a little bit more than this, but okay, look, this just feels like this is probably like 3/4 of a pan, okay? 3/4 of a pound it feels like to me, and you'll see how this turned out. See, there's not a lot of coating on it, but just enough. Oh, okay, I can tell you what I use. I don't know what most people use, but let me show them what I use. You want to clean your flat top? This is the best company in the world. Every cleaner they have, I use. This stuff is amazing. I got it off Amazon. So yeah, definitely. Get you some, as they say. This is going to end up needing a little bit more oil because of the cornstarch. So what I just showed you is probably, and look, it's a little bit for sure. It's like 3/4 of a pound here, okay? All right, we're going to start taking this now, and we're going to start turning this over. This is the stuff, you know. My mama, I would watch her. It's just like country fried steak when I fix that. I'd have to watch her because I'm like, I don't understand, Mom. Mine looks burnt. I don't understand. And, you know, here I was at 10 years old, and she's trying to teach me things like this. And she would show me. It had a lot to do with everything. Was your pan hot? Was it too hot? Do you know what to look for? You're just looking for your oil to start shimmering when you know that your pan is hot enough. Some of these are trying to stick together. That's my fault. All right, we got this. Hold on. And we are going to have a little bit more after this, but that's okay. All right, that water is definitely heating up there. All right, let's give that, and remember, about 1.5 minutes on the first side when you first put it on, and then probably about 30-45 seconds for the second. You don't want to overcook it so that it's rubbery. Remember, we're going to add all this together in the end, okay? Yep, that looks about right. You see that? There we go. That's what we need. I am cooking the steak. Number-wise, I am at a 6. I would say it's a medium-high. It's not high. You never want to cook in. I don't cook anything on high unless I'm trying to make a gravy and I have to start it out on high. I mean, look at these. Perfect. Perfect. And then look, everybody's stove is different. Let's not forget that. Your stove, whether it's a stove top, whether it's gas, whether it's oven, no matter what it is, everybody's can run hotter than somebody else's. You can tell if it's cooking it too fast. You can, if you're burning everything, Lord Jesus, you need to be doing something different. Okay, hold on guys, I'm gonna scrape some of this out because I didn't know I was gonna have this much meat. You see, look, this is the thing, a good pan, you can get all that right off. Oh yes. And I'm gonna take this and put this into my old grease pan, so hold on. Let me get this done. All right, and now what I'm going to do is I've got a few more pieces here and I really want to use it all, so bear with me. There's a couple of more. I'm going to take this. See, the pan's already hot, so it's going to heat that oil up really, really quick, which is great. And let me get these last few pieces in here. Look at that. See how it starts to sizzle immediately? That's when you know you got it where you need it. All right, let's get these in here. Oops, there we go. 2, got a couple more in here. Lee likes steak. He's never going to be upset because there's a little bit more steak than there should be. That's for sure. The one thing, people say, why did we marry you, Molly? You always say that you are just a hot mess. Well, I did what Mama said. Cook for him. Cook for him. Show him what he's going to come home to every day. So, you know, that and the negligee every now and then can work. Put your little hot pants on, girls. That worked when I was skinny. I don't do that part that much no more. Oh, my gosh. Okay, so we're going to wait on that. So look at this. This is what we've worked up, right? This is what we worked up. Now look, I'm gonna give it a little taste test here. I always do that. This is why I never eat at dinner. Look at this. Okay. Oh Lord, people. You need taste-o-vision. Taste-o-vision. Oh my. Okay. Let's get this done. Here we go. We want to move on. I would love to take this and marinate this meat for about 8 hours in the refrigerator the night before. I won't lie. I'm somebody who I love a good marinade. So, and I like it to really get in the meat. Now this, of course, has been less than an hour, and it says on the recipe that you can do it for less than an hour, okay? All right, getting some of that oil there because I don't want to add any more yet. All right, my water is not boiling yet, but it's getting there. All right, we're getting ready to take this off in just a second, and then we are going to start the sauce for this. Yep, look at that. Here we go. We are ready. I told Lee one of these days when I'm big and famous, like Paula Deen, who is my idol in cooking, you know, I'll have to do a thing where maybe I'll give away a weekend trip. You get yourself down here and I'll feed you all weekend long in the Carolinas. Would love to do that. I love it when my friends come over. People go, Molly, I don't understand. I can't stand cooking. I don't like doing it. You know, what is it with you? Well, y'all know everything I share a whole lot about my life. And when people come to my house, or I can go to their house, or I can whip up something in a pan, or a cake, or brownies, or something like that, I gotta tell you, there is no greater feeling than know that God has given you a gift. And actually what he did is, he gave my mama the gift, I think, but my mama made sure I was in the kitchen enough that I was going to figure it out. Okay, so, we are not ready for the ramen yet, but hold on, we're getting there. But we're going to start working on the sauce here. So hold on, let's see what it calls for the sauce. I'm going to go ahead and take some of these pieces off here. I don't want anything burnt in here that we're playing with. I got this down right now. I've now taken my heat and I've put my heat down to between a 3 and a 4, okay? Let me get that out of here. All right, and now what it's telling me to do, it's saying in the same skillet or wok, what you're going to do is you're going to add sesame oil. Okay, let's do this. Here's the sesame oil. We're going to add sesame oil, and this is about 2 to 3 tablespoons. It says that I am going to add the soy sauce, and the soy sauce is probably about 2 to 3 tablespoons of soy sauce. Look at that. Look at that. Okay. Then it says I'm going to add beef broth. Now look at it. It's going to cool that down. Look at that. We're going to add the beef broth in here. Okay. Now I'm going to add about 2 tablespoons of minced garlic and about 2 teaspoons of minced ginger. Okay, so that's what I'm putting in here now. Okay. Wow, this stuff's gonna be amazing. Okay, so let's do this. Now again, I've got this on low. This is about on a 3. All right, and I've got this in here, stirring this up. Now, wait till you hear this. The next thing I'm putting in is brown sugar. I am putting in about 3/4 of a cup of brown sugar. I'm sure you could add a little bit more, a little bit less, but think about it. When you're eating Oriental food, oh my gosh, this stuff smells so good. Oh, okay, so I've got the garlic, the ginger, the brown sugar, and then I'm going to add some red pepper flakes, okay? Now that's for a little heat. I've got about a teaspoon in here. What? They said too that you can leave that out if you want to. For me, hey, we like the heat. It's all good. I'm going to take these gloves off real quick now that I'm done with the meat part. Now look at this. You see what this is doing? We're going to sit here and we're going to stir this. Again, this is on about 3. And I'm even going to turn it down a little bit more. I'm going to turn this down to about a 2, okay? Because this is going to reduce down a little bit. That's what it's going to do. And it's also going to start, because we put the sugar in there, It's also going to start to thicken a little bit, okay? So we're going to do this probably about 10 to 12 minutes with my stove, maybe a little bit less. But we want to watch it because we just don't want to reduce it too much. In the meantime, I'm waiting for my water to finish boiling so that I can get my noodles in there. So what do you do with the ramen? The ramen is easy. Take your seasoning packets and get rid of them or put them away. You can add them, put extra seasoning with your next cup of ramen, whatever that looks like. But all you need for this are your noodles. And what you're going to do is, once your water comes to a boil, you're going to take your ramen, and this calls for 2 packages of the ramen, and you're going to cook it. And you're going to cook it for exactly 2 minutes. And then when I know you're like, 2 minutes? That's not good. Just listen. 2 minutes, people. 2 minutes. And then you're going to drain it. Oh, see, I can see this is starting to get thicker. It's because of the brown sugar. Sugar always helps to thicken stuff. And the reason you want to try to, you're going to stir it all the time like I am, but you really want, because you don't want the sugar to burn on the bottom. There's nothing worse than getting all that residue that you're not supposed to have at the bottom of a pan, just because I would rather overstir than understir for sure. Your ramen, you're going to drain that, and then you're going to rinse it with cold water, okay? That's what you're going to do, but you're going to cook it for 2 minutes, but we are still waiting for this water to boil. It is heating, I can tell it, because if I stuck my finger in there, it would take the skin off of it, but we're going to wait a little bit. This is really, wow, that's what I'm going to say, wow. See if we get that boiling up a little bit. See, it's got the simmer boil to it. It's not that full, you don't want it boiling so much that you're like, oh wow, it's just overcooking everything. You don't want that. And you don't want it to reduce down too much, because remember, this is the juices that's going into the ramen when you put it in there. It's going to help flavor the vegetables, all of that good stuff. Let's see here. This is good. We're going to let that do its thing here. Okay, so I'm over here in the meantime. Let me talk to you guys a little bit, see what's on here. Yeah, thank you. Look at all the people who are sharing it. Thank you so much for sharing. Sometimes we think we know what other people like, and believe it or not, even if you wouldn't like this dish, if you're like, I'm not a garlic fan, I'm not a steak fan, I'm not this, I don't know why you're watching me, you're not any of those things, but that's okay. But a lot of times other people will love it. There's some people who love ramen. When we first came out with ramen at Avon, and we started selling this when the pandemic first started, we actually had a contest in our company for the best ramen dishes that people could come up with, and I just thought that was like amazing, absolutely. And why would anybody say, look, you see how I cook? Look how dirty this is over here. I am such a slob when I cook. Now, it will look fabulous when I clean it up, but I am such a slob when I cook. Oh my gosh. Okay, so here we go. We're about 7 minutes in on this, and yeah, I can see where it's thickening. And again, when I say thickening, I just mean it's not completely like water. I don't mean it's supposed to be like gravy. It is not supposed to be like gravy, because trying to stir the noodles and the meat and everything in a gravy-like consistency would not be good. Now, we're not done with this either. We are also going to be thickening this just a little bit. Just a little bit. We're just not going to do it quite yet. I want to get these noodles in the pan first and have them cooked, and then we were going to thicken this. Now, how are we going to thicken this? I'm going to take probably about 2 teaspoons of cornstarch, and I am going to put it in a little measuring dish, and I'm going to take about 3 to 4 tablespoons. I will start with 3 of cold water and put that in there, and I will whisk all that together, and then I will put this in here, and it will actually bring this up to a really nice oriental sauce, but not a gravy-like sauce. All right, let's see. This is looking really good. There's no sticking to it at all, and that's what you want. You don't want any sticking going on. If it's starting to stick, you know that your stove is too hot and you need to cut it down some. I'm really anxious to see somebody try this. Look, I'm sorry it looks like a hot mess with me because I've never cooked this before, but you know, I always preach to all my team, and I preach to all my Avon representatives and other people who are doing things out there in the world to do it scared. And sometimes it's really easy for me to come on here and cook a dish and make it look like it's so easy, and there really isn't anything hard to my dishes. I don't think so, but to some people they would think so. But I thought, you need to feel the way they feel when they're cooking a dish they've never cooked before, and they don't know how it's going to taste or how it's going to turn out. So do it scared, Molly. So that's what I'm doing. I'm showing you that, yes, never cooked this before, which is why I'm kind of like, oh, I do that? Oh, okay, let's take this out. You should have seen me prepping this morning. I'm like, I've never prepped for this before. This is crazy. Okay, so we're almost done here. I'm going to get to that in 1 second. I'm going to put my ramen noodles. Right now, I'm going to take my gin ramen. Already taken out my seasoning packets because we're not going to use that. And I'm putting that in the water. And yes, I am. Both packets. Putting it in the water. And we are going to cook those bad boys. Alright, come on. Alexa, set timer for 2 minutes.
2 minutes, starting now.
Alright.
If you'd like, you can hit multiple commands without saying Alexa every time. To enable this feature, just ask me to turn on follow-up mode.
Alexa always has a lot to say, just saying. My goodness. Alright, so let me get my little dish here. Hold on, what did I do with it? I'm going to show you guys. Oops, here it is. So I'm just taking a little measuring cup right here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my measuring spoon out here. And I'm going to take about 3 even tablespoons. Actually, you know what? I'm going to start with 2. I'm not going to start with 3. And I'm going to put a little water in here. Alright. And as you can see, I have the water in here, and I've just got my little whisk, and I'm whisking it up because I don't want any lumps in there. I don't want any lumps in there. So I'm just whisking that bad boy up there, see? Now you can do that and you can let it sit, but remember before you go to pour it in, you need to whisk it again, okay? Because otherwise it'll settle to the bottom. All right, my ramen is coming along here. Oh yes. You're gonna see how this is. It amazes me that they only want me to cook this for 2 minutes. I'm like, what? All right, let's see what we got here. This is looking good. All right. Bum, 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 bum. I was going to, oh, there we go. Alexa, stop. All right, let me see what this looks like. Okay, well, she got to know what she's talking about because here I am, and it looks like it's done. Okay, as done as it's going to get. Okay, I'm taking this over into the strainer, emptying this out, and now I'm going to rinse it in cold water. And the cold water part is because you know how that goes. Noodles will stick. They will stick if they get overly heated, whatever it may be. So right now I'm rinsing them in cold water. Yes, I am. Whew, look at that. All right. Rinsing those in cold water. Okay, I'm going to let those drain off for a minute. Now what we're going to do is we're going to work with this. Now I'm keeping this on that low heat, okay? Here I am. We're going to thicken this up a little bit. Mixing it. Gonna pour it in. Okay. Here we go. Let's see what happens here. I can tell you it smells good, and that has nothing to do with the cornstarch. Oh yeah, do you see? Look at the difference. Can you see the difference? And you just want to keep whisking that a little bit, and it will keep getting. Look at the texture. See that? Look at that. Look at it coming together. See? Cornstarch works so well. There's no lumps. All right. Look at that. Okay. Now, right now, I'm going to remove this off the heat because I don't want this to reduce down anymore. Matter of fact, and hey, look, this is getting a little bit thicker than I want it. I'm taking a little bit of beef broth that we put in it to start with, and I'm putting about a tablespoon more of beef broth in it. Again, this is what you learn. You learn, okay, wait a minute, this is a little bit thicker than I want it, so I'm taking that beef broth so I can thin it out a little bit. There we go. Look at that. Now that is freaking perfect. That is perfect. Okay. So now, what are we going to do now? Now, I'm going to bring all my vegetables back, and I'm going to add my vegetables in. Lord have mercy. We're almost at the end, everybody. Look at this. Oh my goodness. We're going to take that and add that. I am going to take my steak, and I am going to put my steak in here. Look at all that steak. Oh, yum, yum, yum. Yum, yum, yum. Lord have mercy. Okay, and then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my ramen noodles that have been rinsed in cold water, and we are going to mix. This is what we're going to do. We are going to mix. We are going to get everything in the sauce. This is what we're going to do. Look at this. Oh my goodness, and it smells so freaking good. I cannot believe how good this smells. Oh my goodness. Those vegetables, those pea pods that are in there. Oh my goodness. Look at this. And that steak is absolutely, make sure your heat is off. Do not leave it on when you're mixing. There's no need to cook anything more. Yes, dear. I started with 2 tablespoons of cornstarch and 3 tablespoons of water. And you whisk it all together good. But remember, you may not need all of that. But I use it because I would rather have it get a little bit thicker, and then I can always add more beef broth. Okay, hold on here. Wow, this is coming together better than I thought. This is like so amazing. Oh my gosh. Okay, trying to make sure the vegetables and all. And you want to make sure that your ramen noodles are completely saturated. That's the one thing I'm seeing now. The steak kind of wanted to go over to the side. You want to make sure that you're getting the full blast of this. Oh my God, guys, I have to tell you, I'm so dang proud of myself right now that I did a recipe I ain't never done in front of you guys. Holy cow. Look at that steak. Now look, I'm not gonna lie. Now look, I would have cut these probably smaller. My only problem is I think it would have been difficult to cook smaller, and you're not supposed to like just toss it around and cook it. You're supposed to flip it. So, you know what? Give somebody a knife, and just like when you grill them a steak, let them cut their own steak pieces. Okay, look at that. Now, we're supposed to let this sit for just a minute. Now, we're not quite done. Hold on, because this is what we're doing next. Now, look at that, people. Look at freaking that. Lee, as soon as I get the garnish on here, I'm going to need you to snap out and take a picture of it. Oh, no, never mind, baby. You don't have to do that. Stay in case you have any questions. Okay, I have some chopped up green onions here. I'm going to take those green onions And I'm going to put them green onions right on top. Now I fixed a few.
Lisa Smith is wanting to come for dinner.
Come on, girl. I told you can come anytime. Now you can do this, and also I always take a little bit of coarse black pepper, because remember I added no pepper except the red peppers. Put a little bit of that black pepper on the top. And then if you like it hot, I let people put their own red crushed peppers on there. Don't make it any crazier than that. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to put some on a plate, and I'm going to have my taste tester, who he's dying. Just get one for now, baby, and then we'll just taste it off of that. Look at this. Can you say, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Okay, hold on. I'm going to take some of this, and we're going to put it on the plate. Just going to make sure I get a little bit of everything that's there. Get a little bit of them onions on there for Mr. Bibb. Okay, hold on, Mr. Bibb, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove this real quick. Okay, guys, don't get dizzy. I'm taking this off of here real quick. Can you believe we got through it? Oh my gosh. Okay, Lee, you got your fork? Okay. Now, Lee, I want to tape you taping it. It's on the stove, baby. On the stove. Okay. Here he is. Okay, you're going to see his first bite expression here. Here we go. Make sure you get the steak too, baby. Get a little bit of everything. Here he goes. Here he goes.
Oh my
Is it good? Is it really good? You're not lying for the camera? Is it really good? Is it really good? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. So, and believe me, I hate to tell you, Bibb is the husband who will tell me, girl, don't cook that no more. Okay, don't cook that no more. Okay, he would be that person. So, Lee, can I taste it? I don't. Why are you just sitting there, I'm the cook. I don't get no. I'm the cook. Okay, no, baby, I got the camera. Hold on. Hold on. I'm gonna get it. I want one of them pea things. Oh my gosh.
I tried to get the steak, but it didn't.
Huh?
Tried to get that on the fork.
Okay, and I gotta get a piece of steak too. Hold on. Okay. On a scale of 1 to 10, I would give this a solid 8.5.
If it hit the top of your head, your tongue will beat your brains out.
Yes. Oh my gosh, Lee. This is fabulous. This is great. I think you're going to love it. I do. I think you're going to love it. And what I'm going to do now, as soon as I get him some more, I'm going to take the recipe, which I already have ready to post, and I'm going to post it with a picture of this. So be watching for it, either on my personal page or on my Onward with Molly, Cooking with Molly page. Go get your ingredients, but above all, go make it. And then take a picture of it. And then put the picture on Facebook and tag me. And why not get in for the raffle for a honey bun cake? Why not? Really? Who would not like to have their own honey bun cake? And I'll be drawing that winner at the end. So I don't know what we're cooking next week, but I have a lot of things drawn. I cannot wait. I'm so excited. Third recipe. It's a win. Hope you all enjoyed it. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.